Hey guys, it's Mac Idiot here, back with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you the top 25 tips and tricks you can do during the match in Armor Attack. So firstly we have corner shooting. Corner shooting is the oldest trick in the book, but it's so effective. It has been used so much in War Robots during the early times, and now it's being implemented in Armor Attack as well. Just very simple, you hide behind a wall and then you shoot from there so that the enemies can't hit you. Is hiding behind beacons. This one is also really simple. You just hide behind a beacon and make sure the enemies can't hit you within that small area that you're hiding behind. This can sometimes work and sometimes not, but most of the time it actually is pretty helpful. So next up we have jumping off of ledges to increase speed during the match. When I first discovered this was a true game changer because it really helps if you want to close in on enemies or get beacons faster. So the next one is sticking together with your teammates. This one is the most important one because it'll make you less vulnerable and actually get things done in the game. Next one is a pretty funny one, which is using your teammates as cover. If you become really desperate in the middle of a match and you can't find any cover, sometimes your teammates can be best to shield you. The next tactic is using speed to outrun the enemy's bullets or attacks. This way you can perhaps sway side to side or run around them. Number 7 is strategic reloading, which is reloading your weapons when you're not currently in combat. This will help you when you actually do get in combat. The next one is pretty useful for short range weapons, which is basically hiding behind walls and then following the enemies so that they can't see you, so that when you finally reach them, you can kill them pretty quickly. The next one is strategic aiming with homing bullets. This one is pretty self-explanatory. You just change how you aim so that you can change the trajectory of the rockets or bullets. The next one is pretty useful, especially for hermit robots, which is basically if your weapons go above walls, then you can hit enemies without them ever being able to hit you. Next one is wall climbing, which probably only works in Canyon Map, which is basically utilizing the unevenness of the canyon walls to essentially fly on them. The next one is pretty self-explanatory, which is closing in on enemies with homing weapons. This way they won't be able to hit you while you can hit them. So next up we have using weapons one at a time, which basically uses the isolating weapon system, and this way you can kill robots faster if you have like a different mix of set weapons. Next one we have is moving back and forth on high ground, so that when you move back, enemies can't hit you and you're reloading, and when you move forward, you can actually hit them back. And then next up we have is predicting enemy movement. This is really useful if you're using abilities or weapons that actually require aim. So this way, if you know where enemies are going to be going, then you can place it maybe in front of them so that they'll walk into it. Next one is another really simple one, which is basically outranging the enemies if your weapons have higher range, so that you're essentially moving backwards while they're trying to chase you down, but you can outrange them. Next one is taking advantage of area of effect of weapons. This works mostly for desolators, and basically if the enemy is hiding behind a wall, you can hit the back of the wall so that the area can hit the enemy. The next one is another funny one, which is basically baiting the enemies, so you can either lure them towards the boss in Bastion Terminal or lure them towards the danger zones in Shipyard and then escape out of them. Number 20 is infiltrating beacons during the heat of battle. So this way, if you see all the enemies and your teammates are busy fighting, you can just go under the radar and start collecting beacons. Next one is another really simple one, which is basically blocking enemy movement with your own robot. So this way you can per se block an enemy from reaching a beacon. Number 22 is another really essential one, which is picking the right fights. So if you're going to be using a really squishy robot, I recommend you don't fight against like an Acrid or a Genesis, but rather find the right fight so that you have a high chance of beating the 1v1. Next one is squadding, which lets you have actually useful teammates and even allows you to communicate with them through Discord. 23 is another funny one, which is naming yourself after a bot. This way you can trick enemies into thinking you're a bot, and well, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So number 25 is strategic use of your robot recovery. So basically every faction has their own form of recovery, be it healing, lifesteal or shield regeneration, and basically you're going to want to hide behind walls, let your recovery take place, or like corner shoot and let your lifesteal take place so that you can finally kill the enemy. So thank you for watching, and I hope this was a really helpful guide for when you actually go into a game.